Good morning, everyone. So, welcome back to today's session. So, I have introduced and pleasure to introduce the Mr. Alok Karnik sir to introducing the esteemed information security professional with over 18 years of global experience. Alok sir has dedicated his career to assisting organizations in building robust security strategies that are both cost effective and compliant with the regulatory requirements. His expertise span across diverse industries like manufacturing, IT, real estate, and fintech, giving him deep insights into the unique challenges of each sector. A cybersecurity advocate and educator, Alok sir is passionate about the sharing knowledge through articles and workshops. He promotes cyber safe behavior at work and home with a special focus on IoT and cloud-based security trends. On a the Alok sir is an adventure at heart. He is a motorcycling enthusiast and the proud owner of Dream Rocket 3R, on which he covered an impressive 50,000 kilometers in just 3 years. And if that wasn't enough, he is also music lover, having founded an event management company and performed as a DJ for nearly a decade in US. So you can also connect with us sir through the Twitter also. And Alok sir has an 18 years of experience majorly in US working across multiple verticals and geographies for Fortune 100 companies like Walmart, Uber, Twitter, Deloitte, and McAfee, Google, and HP. Back in India, he is co-founder of CAS Cyber Venture, where he elevates organization meets cyber security goals and compliance requirements with minimal expense approach. Alok sir has recently published the book Cyber Resilience, a strategic handbook for business leaders. So, advising consumer and business leader on a cyber security. So, welcome you, sir, for the third day of Atal FDP and first session of third day. So, can we start, sir? Okay.
Memo turn in on the
Sessions are other topic.
stage what you see.
So now may I request Dr. Amit Punsal, HOD of CSC and coordinator of Atal FDP, please do the floral welcome to Mr. Alok Karnik, sir, founder of CAS. Thank you, sir.
Mike, इथे मिळतो आहे Check.
Can we start? Yes. Perfect. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming here at this early. And जे मागे बसलेत, I promise to you, मी लोकांना खात नाही. You can come and sit in front. Okay. So, is everyone settled in? Note, pen, paper, everything. There's a lot of note taking you need to do. भरपूर notes घ्या. कारण हे नंतर कामात येईल. Right? 10-15 वर्षांचं 2 तासात सांगणं आणि ते समजणं अवघड असतं. सो मराठी इंग्लिश हिंदी कम्युनिकेशन वर्क राईट. students coming in?
Right now, not possible. They are busy in exam. थोड़े रहे नहीं till the exam done.
Sure. Okay. So today's topic is logging and monitoring. Right? When I mentioned this, normally sir लोग वाटतं की login नाही. Login लॉगआउट नाही. Logging काय असतं? What is monitoring? Is something we'll see across today's session. Okay. Please use a housekeeping. Mobile phone preferably बंद करा आणि silent ठेवा. Notes घ्या आणि केव्हाही वाटेल तेव्हा questions विचारा. That is most important. Cyber security आपण का शिकतो is because it is a business enabler and a business protector also. Okay. This is our general stuff I'm telling because then it helps in the grand scheme of things की logging monitoring का गरजेचं आहे. असं नाही की आपण logs काढतो. त्याचं करायचं काय असतं. Right? What do you do with it? How long it should be kept? Who will look at it? Who will protect it? Who will back it up? Who will encrypt it? Who is it supposed to be shown to? How much of logs is supposed to be shown to? In what time frame? Who can see it? Who cannot see it? Who can see it first? Who can see it second? Who can see it last? Right? Investigation मध्ये हे कसं कामाला येतं? किती modify करता येतात? All this is important. So, as you know, so basically cyber security will basically allow you to do all this and protect all that. So, if you say you're secure, then you will conduct business with it, right? Good. Okay. So, to the trust part, if you want to enter a different market like South Africa or Europe or things, they've got guidelines, they've got rules and regulations. You have to follow. If you don't follow, there's a fair chance you'll not get the contract. But can your company stand to lose a contract of, I don't know, 2 CR or 5 CR or 80 lakhs or whatever? You cannot. But त्याच्यासाठी cyber security करणं आवश्यक असतं. ते कसं करायचं? तर there are plenty of generally बोलू शकतो compliance, regulation, penalties. There are some rules in life, right? In everyday functioning. तुम्ही असे कपडे घालून काय येता इकडे रूल असतो यू कॅनॉट जस्ट गेट आउट गाडीत उठले इथे आलं तसं नसावं ना सो देयर आर रूल्स जर ते रूल्स नाही पाळले तर काय असतं तुझं पेनल्टीज राईट सेम थिंग सायबर सिक्युरिटी देयर इज अ रिझन आय ड्रेस्ड लाईक दिस एंड राईट सो इफ आई डोंट ड्रेस लाईक दिस द पेनल्टी विल बी यू गाइस विल थिंक अरे क्या इधर क्या सिखाना है पता नहीं इट्स आल्सो डिसरिस्पेक्ट. So, if the topic logging and monitoring is very, very close to GRC, how many of you know what GRC is? GRC is a very, very, very important topic in cybersecurity. Okay, governance, risk, and compliance. Governance refers to oversight. सगळं वरचं बघणं. What sir does is governance. He doesn't see कि इसको सडनली मिली क्या वो उधर वो पानी आ रहा है कि नहीं अंदर वो इलेक्ट्रिक आउटलेट पे लाइट है कि नहीं कपड़े चल रहा है कि नहीं बजट अप्रूव okay are the students getting right education yes maybe you should do some interfacing with media yes that is governance work. What is risk is basically कि आपण जे करतोय त्याच्यात रिस्क काय आहे and cyber security is full of risk. Mitigation of risk is cyber security, right? आता तुमच्या कॉलेजला यायच्या इतके सगळे दरवाजे आहेत. How many places are you going to put a guard? What kind of guard? Is that guard supposed to hold a weapon? Do you want to have one kung fu karate kind of person there, or do you want an army military person at the door? That is security, right? Can I just walk into the college? Or do I have to show my Aadhaar card and PAN card and have it pre-approved? Have any of you been to any government facility? कधी गेले कधी? तिकडे पूर्ण असेल, you have to be pre-approved. You have to submit your Aadhaar card online somewhere, they'll approve, they'll do a police verification, all this thing happens. त्याच्यानंतर तिकडे कोणतं तुझा फोन घेऊन टाकेल, all this will happen. That's compliance. They are complying with the rules. Compliance like काय असतं की there's a rule. How many of you have heard of ISO 27001? Right? Very likely. हात वरती करायचे काय इथे काय हे काय? ते नाही करायचं असं काय ठरवलं नाही. सो देर इज सर्टन कंप्लायन्स. आता तुम्ही युरोपला गेला तर GDPR कंप्लायन्स येतं, ऐकलंय नावाचं? HIPAA ऐकलंय? हेल्थ इन्शुरन्स, हेल्थ इंडस्ट्रीचं. In health industry in US, right? So these are all external country compliance rules. How many of you have heard of DPDP? This is Indian compliance. आपण आपलंच ऐकलं नाही. मला सगळं माहिती आहे. So these are our own compliance rules of data security that we are going to be implementing. Government has passed an act. It is a legal requirement now. But they कोण करते? कोणी नाही. We are very closely related with DSCI, who has formed these guidelines and all those things. आणि त्यांच्याकडे लिस्ट आहे ऑन दिस कंपनी हू टू फाईन, पण त्याकडे वेळ नाही फाईन मारायला. ज्या दिवशी फाईन येईल तेव्हा कळेल की हा बाबा DPDP सिरियसली घ्यायचं. पॉईंट इज की डेटा रिस्क कुठे येतं? कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट मध्ये येतं, डेटा शेअरिंग मध्ये पेनल्टीज असतं, किंवा पॉलिसीज आर इन प्लेस, देयर इज SLA और सर्व्हिस लेवल अग्रीमेंट्स. राईट, तुम्ही इतक्या वेळात इतकं काम करायला पाहिजे. नाही तर त्यात जो एंड होतो म्हणजे पंचवार्षिक योजना होत जाते. What are you measuring is also important in cybersecurity. Then there is TPRM or third party risk management, third party vendor management. Others was telling me there was some attack on the infra where there was some DRDO thing involved or whatever. So because of a third party, somebody the main person was affected. Because the third party had access into the DRDO network, DRDO was compromised. This is what third party vendor management is. So I'll give an example on this. I'll use the industry examples over time. There is a company here in India that has some contract with healthcare company in Singapore. Singapore is very well. This was a development contract. One day the main development person who pushes the code into production was on maternity leave. आता the second junior person said की ओके ठीक आहे मी करतो. सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे, सगळं ते OTP घेतलं, हे सगळं घेतलं, लॉग इन केलं, सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे काय चाललं. केलं, कोड प्रमोट केलं. ह्यांनी चुकून टॉर ब्राउझर उघडलं. Who knows what a Tor browser is? Right? So Tor browser is, for those who don't know, is used to access the dark web. The dark web by itself is not a bad thing, but there is a lot of bad things existing over there, so it is considered to be a bad thing. While connected a VPN to Singapore, he opened a Tor browser. Immediately, the Singapore data center got to know that somebody is launching a Tor connection over here. It went to the highest level of investigation to a point where they almost lost a contract worth 1.7 billion USD. Billion with the B for us. Why? Because somebody decided to open Tor browser by default. This raises questions like where the Tor browser है कैसे machine पे? On a machine that is connected to healthcare infrastructure, that is violating compliance, violating rules. Then there is a fact that what are you doing with Tor? Are you uploading company data to the dark web? That becomes now a police case, right? Who is being arrested here? Achha, now what is the fine on this? Who gets fined? Best part, this company had ISO 27001 certification. ISO, if any of you have realized, कोणी बघितलंय तर इकडे असे कंट्रोल असतात जिथे you cannot do certain activities like installing the browser or doing some activities like this. So how was this actually done? And now your ISO 27001 certificate is in question. ये ISO तुम्हाला सर्टिफिकेट मिळाला कसं? It's like a driving license without a driving test, right? So now you know what is the competency. तुमची काय लायकी आहे ड्रायव्हिंग करायची? ड्रायव्हिंग टेस्ट घेतली नाही, लायसन्स आहे. काय ड्रायव्हिंग करणार आणि कोणा मारणार? बोलले कोणा नाही, केव्हा मारणार? मारणार नक्की आहे, केव्हाचा प्रश्न असतो. Sorry for you. Do you understand Marathi? Okay. I'm presuming, but I want to make sure. मला हिंदी विषय शिकायचं आहे. हिंदी प्रेफर आपको? चालते चालते. So why I'm telling this story is that how did we figure this out? When I mentioned the Singapore data center, there was a SOC over there. SOC का है, SOC, Security Operations Center, right? This looks at the logs of all the devices and all the traffic that is running inside the network, in and out. That's how they figured out that there is a connection that is being established to the dark web, and they instantly terminated it. They found out which IP address it was coming from, who the IP address belongs to, who was the user, all within a span of 10 minutes. And when I say 10 minutes, the phone call has already gone. So it was detected in like seconds. So imagine all this went from the Singapore data center का head to the healthcare company का head से लेके इस company का head. So if you do such activities, there's a good chance the person will get fired. Or worse, arrested. Because in this case, it went to that level. तो थोड़ा बहुत हमने जरा स्टोरी घुमा के भी बचाव था from being arrested, but point today is this story basically refers to logging and monitoring. Because of logs, you can investigate and find out कि काय झालं. In cybersecurity, the first thing an attacker will do is erase your logs or prevent access to your logs. घर पे किसी ने चोरी किया तो फिंगरप्रिंट में मिटाएगा. जिस दिन फिंगरप्रिंट मिला तो मिल गया ना बंदा कौन है. Same logic. I'll make sure I don't have traces. What is this? BAT, RBI, SEBI, IRDA, and TRAI. What are these? Government bodies, right? Huh? They have their own regulations, right? IRDA has its own regulations for insurance industry. SEBI has its own regulations for financial compliance. All your NBFCs and banks have to follow SEBI compliance. Insurance companies have to follow IRDA, right? Or RBI compliance also. This is for stock exchanges. This is for your financial companies. MAT. This is the Ministry of Information Technology or whatever. This is for IT and research, right? DPDP. This is what I was mentioning earlier. This is now Digital Personal Data Protection Act. How many of you have gone to all these shops here, Decathlon or Pizza Hut or something like that? Sir, phone number दो. किसने phone number दिया? क्यों?
तो बोलता है फोन नंबर चाहिए.
अच्छा तो बीवी के जवाब दे दो. Then what is the point of giving the data? Why do they want it?
ट्रांजेक्शन नहीं होगा, पिज्जा नहीं मिलेगा.
Who said?
पिज्जा आपको डिलीवर करना है तो फिर फोन पे कॉल करना पड़ेगा डिलीवरी बॉय को.
That is different story. Online is a different story. But what about offline? When you go to a store, तो बिल देना बात खत्म हो जाएगी. See, always protect your data. This data is widely available. What somebody can do with your phone number, financial data, emails, very often मेरे email में कुछ नहीं है. That isn't the point. The point is that password on an email is probably the same as a password on a Twitter account or Facebook account. कितने लोग के password same होते हैं? या तो थोड़ा बहुत यहाँ का अलग होगा. You're same, ना? You're laughing at it because you're same.
No, it's somewhat different.
Somewhat different.
Yeah.
You know, Twitter ka database has been leaked along with the clear text passwords. At some point, that was your password if you have changed it. Twitter pe. So I'll go through this quickly. So compliance ke liye basically we need to understand ki you want to go behind it. This is too close. So if you understand compliance here,
I like it.
compliance basically is in a way कि you should be taking this as a burden. It's supposed to be a good thing for a business. पण झोपायचं का पिक्चर आला नाही.
तिथे बसा. तुम्हाला सांगितलं या साईडला बसू नका म्हणून. कुठे बसायला सांगितलं तुम्हाला? हा? इथं त्या कोपऱ्यात नाही तिथे तुम्ही पुन्हा तिकडे जाऊ बसा.
Done, settled?
हो.
Okay. So this whole part of GRC, right? This is the whole compliance part. Why do we need to maintain compliance in the business? It is for all this configuration by us. If you have got the best door, metal daraja, everything, but there is no key on the lock, or the key is visible to everybody, or given to everybody, what's the point? That's configuration. So this is how you can lose out. So data sharing clauses, right? If you have doing to the एका जागी उभे राहतो मी. नाही camera. So data sharing clauses. तुम्ही data का देता, कोणा देता is critical here. This is all part of GRC again. So your log data is important to understand where is it going. Right? Who are you having an agreement with? तुमचे services काय आहेत? Is a API call in. Have you heard of API calls in software industry, software development? Right. So API calls can be unidirectional or bidirectional. एक side चा data but response पर ये. I can place it out and get a confirmation. That is a bidirectional clause. So TPRM, right? Third party risk management. Vendor side breach can expose data. That issue. What will happen is your company will be in the news, not the vendor. अगर कल जाके पिज्जा हट का और डोमिनोज का ब्रीच हुआ, डोमिनोज का नाम पेपर में आएगा. Always remember this, not the third party vendor. Holder contracts, these are all contractual agreements. हे सगळं कोणी बघत नाही. That is why logging quality doesn't happen. So I'll go through this quickly. How many of you have heard of these standards? Health standards, web app security, NIST standards, ISO standards, SOC 2 certificates. All this is used in the security industry today. So if logging monitoring today in India is part of compliance, so you will be asked questions. There are cyber insurance questionnaires. There are audit questionnaires. Have any of you ever seen what an audit looks like? Audit में they'll ask you a ton of questions. तुम आप ये करते हो क्या, वो करते हो क्या? It's the same thing ना. क्या आपके घर में टूथपेस्ट है? हाँ. क्या आपके टूथपेस्ट नमक है? हाँ. That is the kind of situation here. These are audits. You can't protect what you don't know. Logging monitoring का important है. Because if any asset just walks into your network and starts stealing data, then there is no end to things, right? So you have to know what your assets are. Your assets can be your servers, that will implement mobile devices, email data. Everyone knows this part, right? What we forget when you automate data management is web domains. If your web domain is compromised, I can go and shut down your website or deface it. Right? I can go and put any random secret on your web page. On your college website homepage can link to a porn site. And it happens. Right? I can install malware. Anybody visiting your website will get infected by malware. Auto download हो जाए the other account. Now those machines will connect to some central server and then launch an attack on something else. Have you heard of DDoS? Distributed denial of service. That's exactly how this works. What we call as C2C, command or CNC, command and control. So you'll have 50,000 bots connected to a server, and then on the base of server they'll attack one or multiple servers. When the investigation happens, because of logs, IP address, आपका आएगा. So configuration of those firewall servers, all those things. सोशल मीडिया अकाउंट्स इज आल्सो पार्ट ऑफ एसेट्स, उसके भी लॉस निकाल सकते हैं. तो ऐसे द सर्च एडमिन्स can also do wrong things. Don't think admins is दूध का धुला हुआ. There are software available to track and control their activity and record it. Coming to today's topic of checking if you're awake. Okay. Who can tell what is DTR? So, logging monitoring में क्या होता है? There's an entire life cycle. The logs are collected. The logs are logs are correlated. Okay. Then the logs are stored. There is automation and alerts that happen on the logs. Alerts why we पता चले क्या हो रहा है, right? Then it goes to a SOC for analysis. From analysis, threat intelligence is derived. Make sense? Okay. Log collection. So, what logs are? How many of you know what logs are collected? कौन से logs collect करते हैं? कौन से?
Network access log.
No, no, still. See, no IP address के log नहीं मिलते. IP address is an entity by itself. What are documents? VPN logs, firewall logs, antivirus or EDR के logs, your endpoint के logs, server logs, access logs, security logs, right? All these logs come together. If I have to trace कि attack कैसे हुआ, somebody goes through, has somebody's VPN credentials, goes to the VPN server with the credentials, goes to the firewall also, and accesses a production database at 2:34 in the morning with admin credentials to the database, fails 4 attempts. On the 5th attempt of the password, the attacker succeeds. How do you track this scenario? You have to go back, VPN logs ढूंढो, firewall logs ढूंढो, database के logs ढूंढो. अरे ये 4 बार क्यों हुआ? Password incorrect. 5 बार क्यों हुआ? That means somebody is trying. अच्छा, in how much time did those 4 attempts happen? Within a minute? Like we put a wrong password immediately. Next password. Right. We also put a wrong password. But admin person putting wrong password maybe 4 times, the chances are pretty low. So these are rules that are put in the detection engines to capture all this. Any questions? क्या भाई क्वेश्चन पूछा है? ये नहीं कि बाद में क्वेश्चन पूछना होता है. It's a very chilled out session. So don't take this as a regular classroom session. That is the correlation part I just explained earlier. So multiple, अच्छा ये भी होता है कि the attack your server sitting in Delhi somewhere, but someone logged in through VPN in Chennai. And the 15th minute of logging from Chennai, the next login shows it's from somewhere in New York. Is that possible? कैसे? My business doesn't allow country migration. पर धंधा है ही नहीं वहाँ पे. पहले तो 15 मिनट में वही लॉगिन कर रहा है देश यूज करने में. It can be possible, but is it realistic? Possible है, but see, सब कुछ possible है. But if it's possible, then you have a bigger problem on your hand. If that is possible. No company will ever allow you to log in from 2 places simultaneously, just like that. At least from a very far geographical area, within minutes. See, if somebody is logging in, मतलब किसी की उम्मीद चल रही है ना, how can you be in 15 minutes in New York here? और अगर है तो भी ट्रेन का नाम बताओ, या प्लेन का नाम बताओ, हम भी आते हैं. Storage. Log storage is important because if you don't store your log, by the way, How many of you know that log management or log monitoring is now a legal requirement in India, where you have to store logs for 180 days, 6 months. Else, there is a penalty of 1 CR at the bare minimum, plus arrest. अब प्रॉब्लम ये हो रहा है कि गवर्नमेंट इज वंडरिंग कि अरेस्ट किसको करे, कंपनी के मालिक को करने का, आईटी हेड को करने का, एम्प्लॉय को करने का, किसको करने का? You can arrest the wrong person. That's incorrect. So now they are coming to a point where, so the arrest tomorrow goli will increase the fine. How much? 10 CR. Which company is going to tolerate that loss? If you have a company today, tell me, can you tolerate a loss of 10 CR? How much loss can you tolerate? If you have a company, 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs.
Those can be needed.
Also, why should you tolerate a loss now? Why should you tolerate a loss? These are all legal requirements, and this is no joke. I can't tell you how many places we have gone in this situation. The other client we had, entire company where ransomware attack ho gaya. Machine is locked. You can't do anything. Charge the band uska. That company makes electrical equipment for your SCADA machines in an IoT environment. The meaning of that is, you have the panels. You go to your machine, click, tap some buttons, and the machine does something. These panels are used in pharma industries, automotive industry. अब ऐसी जगह पे, if your panel stops working, imagine loss that to a pharma company. Pharma company को directly fine पड़ेगा government से, and that will become big news. So just imagine these scenarios. If this company software firmware gets modified to a point where it launches an attack from that company, what will happen? And the IT head here has no idea क्या हुआ है. He is working there since 15 years. This is a real life case. They are a client now. We are doing this work for them. The guy has no idea क्या चल रहा है. Firewall में login किया सर, हाँ अभी काम क्लिक करूँगी. ये तो 15 साल से काम कर रहा है. How do you not know where the firewall is and what do you do with the firewall? Attack हुआ कैसे? Port 3389 was open on some servers. What is port 3389? Does anyone know? RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol. How many of you have used RDP? Using RDP, expose RDP to a public internet, जहाँ कोई भी access कर सकता है. Best part, user password, admin password. So with admin password credentials, open RDP port, what do you expect it to happen? Right? Obviously, because there was no SOC involved, there is no automation alert, there is nothing is there. So this attack could have been prevented. Actually, this attack started in the morning, 12:30 in the morning. It went on until 7:30 in the morning. Nobody knew. Nobody knew. आराम से the malware installed, सब encrypt हो गया, copy हो गया data, everything done. Now what? 4 दिन धंधा बंद. You cannot do any kind of manufacturing, you cannot do any kind of order placement, you cannot do any kind of complaint redressal, nothing. Imagine the loss. Your clients are sitting in Germany, Europe, South Africa. Now this is a legal record. Now you have to report this to police. You are also obligated as per the contract laws to report to them कि हमारे यहाँ पे data breach हुआ. Bank में चोरी हो गई. You think you go to bank with him again? How many people put their money in that bank? That is bank में. कौन करेगा? Same logic. Sorry?
Bank manager.
Bank नहीं करेगा. Exactly. So, log storage part. This is important. कि the logs are stored. अच्छा, where are they stored? On the same server. बहुत बड़ी भी होता है. अच्छा, this same client. Logs कहाँ है? सर logs उसी server पे. Server is locked because of ransomware. Now how do you investigate? Copy है नहीं? Copy नहीं. बताओ. This is what we deal with in the industry. Now, isn't this serious? Right? So, logs are stored in a separate environment altogether where it is not modified. So that is called a SOC or a SIEM, SIEM, Security Information Event Management, SIEM. A SIEM platform will check for all these correlation. Yeah, this plus this equals this. It does that. Then the rule setup over there. Every company has its, so again, every company may have its own rules. But a company as an industry, if you're working in pharma industry or automotive industry, the rules are generally the same. Right? थोड़ा बहुत open नीचे होता है. It's like you're the same family, all of you will generally dress in a certain way. Because somebody will not suddenly go dress in a party dress and go for a marriage function. Like, होता है. The SOC basically has a bunch of people sitting there looking at your logs the whole time. SOC can operate 24/7 or it can operate 8/5. What does this mean? 24/7 look what it. Can you shut the door? That does it. Can you shut those doors if possible? So basically, any questions here on this part so far on log monitoring and log correlation? Or anything for that matter?
Yes.
First question? Any questions?
You said that there are some monitoring or the engine which is taking care about monitoring.
Uh-huh.
So, are you providing the admin password to them or something? What sort of mechanism should be there?
See, we don't do this. We don't do it as such. They will have a department, just the way you have your IT department. उनका IT department नहीं करेगा. So IT department is responsible for managing all this. Your IT department, who's your part of IT?
Yes.
Who is?
I did not hear that.
Most important person to be here today. So he will probably have access to all your credentials, right? So he can check what traffic is flowing in and out of a firewall. Is traffic flowing to some gaming site? Suddenly आज के दिन मेरे नेटवर्क पे ट्रैफिक इनबाउंड ट्रैफिक इतना क्यों है वो भी इस आईपी पे why because somebody decided to in their internet wisdom कि मैं आज क्रिकेट मैच देखूंगा अच्छा अगर ये 10-15 लोगों ने कर दिया अपने तो मशीन क्रिकेट मैच करने लगे तो नेटवर्क बैठ जाएगा
Sir, is it possible to detect?
अब पहली बात तो आलोक
Is it possible to detect the individual downloads that are done on individual systems? Can an admin
हाँ
you can easily see who is downloading what content also. This is another logs.
ये सब लोग पे जाएगा
Secondly, Alok, can we have any software which will monitor automatically? Or is there any AI software?
there is see, AI works when there is appropriate input given to it. If the wrong input is the in industry is GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. If the wrong input, wrong output आएगा. So वैसा सीन होता है. So there is a platform called Wazoo, WAZUH. It's an open source platform that can be deployed in your environment here. It's open source free, and that does a lot of this log modeling collection work.
And how frequently we have to store this log storage?
How frequently?
Uh,
Runtime. Real time.
Continue.
अगर if you do six hourly, तो on the fifth hour अगर कुछ हो गया, you have lost 500 logs. No, this is not possible. This is not acceptable in a say financial transaction. Think about this now. If I click a button, I pay the money, and वो payment का record उधर reflect हुआ ही नहीं, ये तो बोलेगा पास हमने पैसा दिया नहीं.
No, that is okay. That is on runtime. But how frequently we have to store on mirroring? That is mirroring or something.
Mirroring is a whole different concept. Mirroring is basically you have your devices here.
Multiple.
उसका log है जाएगा. This to mirror keep it over here as a backup copy of whatever. Right. That we call it as resilience. Now AWS का they used to have they have a data center in Bombay. They have opened one now in Hyderabad also. So now companies are keeping a copy over there in case Bombay data center goes हो गया. So we have a copy here. Now that costs money to move the logs from A to B. That's a massive cost. Some companies can be going crores on a monthly basis. So imagine the yearly cost. Okay?
Sir, one last question.
Not last, you can have 10 more.
Does these logs save our user ID and password also before like Amazon, Facebook? So these logs, do they have the credentials? Like,
See, when you access a web interface like Gmail or Twitter or whatever, you sign on it uses your SSL or TLS. It does end-to-end encryption.
okay.
So you will not be able to see कि वो कौन सा login पर ऐसा नहीं होता है.
But the option of the Google Chrome is auto save your password.
वो तो password है. That is saving in your, that is also encrypted. It is encrypted and sent.
Okay.
That
If
is-
some kind of attack happens for that, he may not be able to record that data. Or he can see all my passwords. It is saved in Google.
If you have access to Google account, then yes.
If he has that,
If that person if the attacker has access to Google account, then you have got bigger problems.
because certainly I have got a mail that your account has been tried to access at a certain point where I was not actually there.
I'll show you my own account here. Achha, how many of you have enabled MFA on your accounts? What is MFA? Or one-time password? Or क्या MFA? Two-step verification. Two-factor authentication. How many of you have enabled this? Let's wait for them. You guys should sit here because इधर आगे इधर on दो. You will learn more.
Students, please come forward.
No one's going to shout at you and arrow 8 people. So feel free to sit up here. No problem. Never forcing you. It's okay. Be comfortable whenever. There's some people get very nervous. Well, I'll tell you what, when I was in college, right, we had a very chill relationship with our faculty. But इतना करना हालत था ना कि me, our friends, they used to come with the HOD of the college under my house, building नीचे, so 3 बजे. And the HOD shouted, hello, नीचे आओ, hello, so 3 बजे. My dad goes to the window, हाँ ठीक है क्या है? नहीं वाला मैं नीचे भेजो. I go down there and they take me on the bike with my blanket to somewhere खड़ा बसना. सुबह 3 बजे. Because this is the relationship. We used to go to movies with them and all. So Said, okay. So basically, this is what log monitoring is in a nutshell over here. Threat intelligence. What is threat intelligence? The attacks that happen on tumcha company varti are also probably happening in another company in the same field. Today, if I'm monitoring a large stock over here, if I'm handling new stock, I know कि pharma industry पे attack हो रहा है. I can send a verification, I can send a notification to all pharma companies. This attack is happening in this manner. Please protect yourself. A very prominent paint company in India had a ransomware attack. The MD of the company was notified. He automatically told another prominent paint company, "कि बस मेरे यहाँ पे अटैक हुआ है, अपना संभाल लें." So this also happens. So then they did the same thing. They were protected. Later on, after 2-3 months, we found out that yes, this attack was happening on this new plant, on this new company also. But then, because of the warning, they were safe. क्या होता है? In an attack, there's something called an ROI, return on investment. If you make it more difficult to attack, the attacker will leave you. उसकी इतना टाइम नहीं उसके पास. Unless he is hell-bent on destroying you, तो अलग बात है. But most of the time attacks happen because हाँ ठीक है इसको भी अटैक करो, इसको भी करो, इसको भी करो, इसको भी करो. किसी को ना मट्टी दो और फेंको, जहाँ चिपका चिपका. That kind of situation. So that happens. If you make it difficult for them, they'll leave you alone. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen again, but the probability reduces. So threat intelligence here. Then there are threat intelligence leads given by Microsoft, CrowdStrike, Deloitte. Symantec, all these companies give threat feeds. Google, why? To help the public in general. If there's a malware happening in US, how many of you know about this whole CrowdStrike incident that happened recently? News में तो बहुत आया यहाँ पे. Airport में बंद हो गए, flight बंद हो गए, सब कुछ हो गया. And when I was working for McAfee, same thing happened. Some bad update went out. पूरा ऑस्ट्रेलिया का चेन बैठ एक शॉपिंग कार्ट का चेन बैठ गया ऑस्ट्रेलिया में. So now what to do? Imagine the machine is reporting. Okay, second batch of students. तुम लोग यहाँ पे बैठोगे, लेट है. Right? We've got a short time frame, 20 days, so let's settle quickly. So threat intel is useful in this manner. ये आता कहाँ से? Again, logs. So you know what? You should make it a project here. Install Mozilla or whatever. Start collecting logs. See how it makes a difference. You will have visibility into what kind of sites people use. Is it necessary to go to that site? Does it have a business reason? Is what we call in industry. If there is no business reason to visit that site, it should be blocked. How much of blocking will you do? और के काम नहीं आईटी वाले को ब्लॉक कर दो दिन पर, right? Can you block? So if you guys have access on you see the Gmail, right? So companies also work on Google Workspace or Microsoft OneDrive, right? Can you block Gmail in the company if you are operating on Google Workspace? What will happen? How many of you think this is a good idea? Blocking Gmail on the firewall. What will happen if my company is operating on Google Workspace? What will happen?
Stop all work.
Right? Well, it's possible. I can block it. There are ways you can block corporate personal Gmail, but allow corporate Gmail to go through. Have you heard of DLP? DLP सुना है किसी ने? Data loss prevention. How does data go out? अच्छा ये तीन होते हैं. एक होता है in to out traffic, एक होता है out to in traffic. I mean in to out, out to in. And what is out to out? Out to out क्या होता है? Cloud to cloud data storage. I can install an extension in the browser, a OneDrive or क्या उसको Dropbox extension on my browser, and have a direct link from some folder on my desktop to make a copy outside. This has happened. Can you prevent this? Yes. But then it requires money. It's software खरीदना पड़ता है. It is cost of doing business. If you have to teach in a college like this, you have to spend on the projector, on the lights. When I sit on class, झाड़ के नीचे, ये क्यों बांधना है? Same thing cyber security. झाड़ के नीचे classes नहीं करने हैं, then you have to build a college. What is cyber security? You all know this? Right? Collect logs from all relevant sources. But then somebody please keep a track of time. इसका आदत है we go on including in hour or so. What are sources? Your log sources. We spoke about this earlier, right? VPN logs, firewall logs, email logs, blah blah blah, etc. etc. Do not store logs on the same devices. Why? So bad है तो कौन investigate करेगा? कैसे investigate करेगा? If it goes to a police case, how will you produce evidence to the court? certain evidence is admissible in the court if not tampered, which is called as chain of custody. पता है कि डेटा यहां से यहां से यहां से यहां से यहां गया, फिर कोर्ट में आया कि बीच में किसी ने छेड़खानी नहीं की. That's why you have those there's one milk company. They give you one test. Yeah, milk is pure. Why? कि रास्ते में किसी ने पानी नहीं मिला उसमें. Right? All endpoints must be time synced. What is time syncing? So time syncing basically means that all your servers are using one time zone and one time only. Is it possible that that database example I gave earlier, is it possible that a database was accessed at 2:53, but then the firewall was accessed at 3 o'clock? 7 minutes later. Is that possible? Realistically. अंदर का एंट्री बाहर के पहले कैसे हो सकता है? If the servers are not on the same time zone or time frame or time instance, it causes a shift in the investigation. The thief cannot come inside and then go over the gate later on. वो तो नहीं हो सकता है. Logs always show for validated by law. This is now a legal requirement. Applicable to whom? Do you think it's applicable to industry or some people, whatever? No, it's applicable to a body corporate. A body corporate is any entity, business or person. So everyone must do log monitoring today as a rule. आज तक फाइन आया नहीं है, जिस दिन आएगा good luck. Because we know they don't have time, because we interact with them. Log access to be given to limited personnel only. Why? That's a question to you.
It should not be modified, or you may not make a change.
Correct. नहीं, चोर को दे दोगे तो फिर वो तो चोरी करेगा ही करेगा ना, 100%. You can't have a molester sitting in the women's welfare fund. वो तो I'm using this example because this is cyber security. Attacker is that only. And of course, the point is कि we worry about कि लोग क्या कहेंगे, हाँ मेरा डेटा ले गया, मेरा मार्केट में नाम खराब हो जाएगा, हाँ वो तो वैसे भी खराब होने वाला है. But then we think कि logs क्या कहें?
40 minutes left as per the schedule, but we can extend up to half an hour.
So migrate logs to centralized storage. That is your SIEM, SIEM, what I mentioned earlier. The log should move over there. Analyze the log with a holistic view and then have alerts on them and have ROI by real-time monitoring. So log store कर लिए, ये हो गया, वो ऐसा हो गया. उससे अभी क्या? You know the old ad ना, उससे क्या होगा? Small kid keep asking. ये हो गया, उससे क्या होगा? और ये कर लिया, उससे क्या होगा? Is that? You should get alerts in time, not 4 hours later. कि अरे वो हुआ था उस टाइम पे, तो पहले पता नहीं है. Right? That's the whole logic here. You should get real-time alerts that you can block it in real time itself. Okay, another incident I'll tell you. This happened in another platform for that sells gold online. How many of you like this story now? Gold is not everywhere. So if you can buy gold online, okay, you basically go and purchase whatever 1, 2 grams, whatever it is. So this attacker purchased 2 grams of gold for some X amount of money, some 18, 20 something, whatever it is. Okay? Now this purchase button, okay, हाँ हो गया, order confirm हो गया. The way software works is that you get a confirmation, right? Done. So this person replayed the confirmation back to the server. This is a bug in the software itself. What happened is that the same token, confirmation token, was reused and reused and reused and reused 28,000 times. 5.5 किलो सोना. It is not just बैंक से पैसा गया, अरे ईमेल गया, पासवर्ड गया. Such things also happen. right? The software had passed BAPT. How many of you know what BAPT is? Right? Vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, VAPT. All those tests were done, website was good, everything is done, everything is secure, good. So ये कैसे हुआ? The coding itself was faulty. Nobody checked the business logic. Best part, ये data कैसे हुआ? They ran out of stock. Shipping department stocked it. The stock नहीं था. 5.5 किलो भेजी कहाँ कैसे? And not 2 gram biscuits, no biscuit नहीं क्या होता उसको 2 gram का.
Going.
Yes, fine, thank you. Such things happen. It's that weird. ये कभी पढ़ा है कहीं पे? पेपर में? पढ़ोगे भी नहीं.
So they don't get the notification of the money on the virtual.
It went to different addresses. You will get notification if you put alert na. Notification आएगा कब? When there's an alert set up, the alert has to have a threshold. कि if you don't wear a checked blue shirt, बस तू बाहर जा. ऐसा alert है ही नहीं, तो that's how I came in. The shipping department stopped this attack. Unbelievable. It is logs, but this is now mandatory issue. Okay. Follow by keeping logs, basically you help with compliance. Compliance may not be visible today, but when you go into a company, you people, this is very, very important. If your firm wants to do business in the US, UK, or South Africa, Singapore, whatever, they have to meet certain standards. How will you maintain that? Like you dress up into this is a uniform, right? Yes. If you don't have a uniform, then what happens? Ever tried it?
Yeah, one day.
One day, ठीक है. मैं आज uniform पहनेगा, मैं I'll come like this. What will happen? Somebody's going to ask you at one point, huh? ये क्या चल रहा है? चलो एक बार ठीक है, 2 बार, 3 बार, 4 बार, बस out. Same thing with companies. One time ठीक है, good and once the errors start piling up, that companies will terminate a contract. If that happens, there's a fair chance the company will terminate a job also. So don't think a company issue, it will point back to you. And we have seen cases where people get arrested. There's a girl in a group, she goes on raids with the police. You know the Cosmos Bank, so yeah, Cosmos Bank. Cosmos Bank का बहुत बड़ा data breach हुआ. My work partner was the official lead from Mumbai Police for that. Another girl, right? She has actually gone on raids. She's a forensic investigator. She's gone on raids the police to do all this stuff. So don't think that this is some it has these consequences. And maybe you are not exposed to this, but we have actually seen this. And you do not want to be in a meeting, trust me. It's a very bad place to be in. SOC. A SOC is basically a set of people जो आपके logs continuously देख रहे हैं और चेक करें कि भाई क्या होता है, क्या हो रहा है, क्या नहीं हो रहा है, क्या अलाउड है, क्या अलाउड नहीं है, अलर्ट कब जनरेट करना है, कितने टाइम में करना है, किसको पहले बताना है, किसको बाद में बताना है. If an attack happen, अगर आपके टॉलरेबल अटैक आ जाए, कौन आप पहले करेंगे?
System admin.
Right? Who will that person tell next? System admin कौन सांगेल? He is going to go to the student file and call the help and tell them attack हुआ है. नहीं. Probably call him or somebody else. Then later he will decide if police will be involved, not involved. He look at the data. अच्छा, students है भाई बस आपका data गया बाहर. Right? So SOC का पूरा ये एक process होता है and this is continued. Automation basically has threat detection. I know if somebody is trying to access a server at 11:55 p.m. was not allowed. Something definitely wrong. कौन कर रहा है? अच्छा, you may probably see the username, but then why? Why is this person trying to access? अच्छा, the source is coming from somewhere in Belarus. in Eastern Europe. What for? Alert prioritization. So the alerts have to be sent in within seconds. Have you heard the लोगों को SMS आता है यार ये कुछ तो हो गया. Let's see movies, right? राकेट की कोई फोन आता है सर ऐसा हुआ है. Right? That workflow. So that workflow automation is this is all sounds very fancy terms, लेकिन industry में यही समझ सकते हैं. है तो है. Your SOC should be with your team leader incident response. What is incident response? We call it BCP-DR-IR. BCP is business continuity plan. DR is disaster recovery. IR is incident response. So when there's a issue, when there's an attack on network, your business should continue ahead. As like a bad side. You think Amazon doesn't have attacks every day? By the hour, by the minute. But have you ever seen Amazon the site down over here? You can't place an order. Kabhi nahi. Disaster recovery. If some disaster happens, how soon can I come back? Matters. So incident response में एक अलग chapter हो जाता है अंदर. Customizable alerting. Your alerts are not the same as somebody else. You are not the same person as he is. Your alert for your company will not be the same as any other company. और बहुत बार लोग यही गलती करते हैं. So ये हमारे पैकेज ये डाल देते alerts. हाँ ठीक है, but alerts बाबा parameterization matters. It's like certain alerts are triggered कि अगर आपका 2 GB डेटा डाउनलोड किया दिन में तो आपको अलर्ट आता है. Right? अब सबके 2 GB डेटा ना आपके केवल. I use 10 GB data a day. Now what? So why should I take मेरे को I have unnecessarily 5 alerts a day then. आपने 2 GB यूज किया, 2 GB यूज किया, 2 GB यूज किया. अरे तू 10 के बाद पता नहीं. That's the point. Protected. So easy integration, Siemens SOC, real-time feeds. We spoke about all this earlier, right? Protective threat hunting with IOCs. What is IOC? Indicator of compromise. These are terms. Why I'm telling you to take notes is because these terms are going to come in useful later on. When an investigation report comes out, all these words are used. First question asked is what is the IOC? Attack कैसे हुआ? What is the reason? Right? Threat intel comes from collaborative security community sharing. We spoke earlier about CrowdStrike having feeds, Microsoft having feeds, Google having feeds, right? So ये सब होता है to help the cybersecurity community in general. We saw this regulatory bodies earlier as well. Best practices. In cybersecurity, there is something called PPT, not PowerPoint. People, process, technology. Same logic, right? I can educate all of you कि आप सबको ढंग से कपड़े पहन के आने का है. Then there's a process. भाई तुम लोग को ऐसे कपड़े इस तरह से पहनने हैं. Technology comes at a point where अगर नहीं पहनोगे तो फाइन पड़ेगा. So somebody will have to stand outside over there and check भाई कुछ क्या कपड़े पहने. The cost increases. You have to educate people, set up processes, and deploy technology, which is most expensive. Is the college willing to spend say 30 lakhs per year on installing software for certain activities versus educating all of you and you following or complying with that request or order? Hey, ऐसा मत करो. What is cheaper? 30 lakhs annually. Yeah? So imagine per batch how much your fees will increase. This is just I can just briefly go on this ITOT. What is a lot of companies have this IoT system where they manufacture. So very often the manufacturing part is also connected to your IT part. When there's an attack on the IT part, if there is no barrier between IT and OT networks, the attack can flow from the IT network into your OT network. This has happened. Have you heard of Stuxnet? Where allegedly United States and allegedly Israel combined to destroy Iran's nuclear program. You सुना है? It is an amazing story. ये किया कैसे? US पे ड्राइव sitting on the ground somewhere. Somebody to get put plug it in. A waste water management plant. But something happened and it didn't treat water the right way and released sewage into the river. Right? Another of our clients, they deal with smart lights, all your street lights. वो स्टार्ट पे से ऑन ही नहीं हुए पूरा शहर अंदर में think about this blackout situation and this has now got तो ये तो और नहीं हुआ डेटा क्या उनके पास में every person who uses this and also smart meters all of you have meters at home हर मीटर का डेटा अंदर है your name email address password blah 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 everything payment history payment details सब है so this is that IT OT part again the IT based framework OS means your web application security frameworks right NIST is for IT environments. Again, this is the Purdue model of security, all the way from your IT to all the way to the control and chip level. Certain applications like wind turbines, etc., they require security at this level also. If I stop the blade of a wind turbine from turning, what happens? The motor will burn. Imagine replacing that. And these normally are connected together. You see, the wind turbines are closely placed.
Yeah.
If I turn off or damage 50 wind turbines, what happens? And this has also happened. Best practices. हम ये शपथ लेते हैं, etc. etc. मैं जो भी कहूँगा सच कहूँगा. All that stuff. Best practice. Why do we need best practices? Again, this is also why this is here. Again, logging monitoring. Why logging monitoring is needed? Because of best practices. If there is an issue, how do we figure out? And in today's अपना आजकल internet connected world होता है. At least 15-20 years ago, internet इतना spread नहीं था, right? You guys we don't not know, but all of us remember dial-up internet, right? कनेक्ट होता था डाटा फोन से याद है डाटा इंटरनेट 50 इन लोगों को 56 नेटवर्क इंटरनेट my friend's son was like my internet not working or I only 10 Mbps bandwidth but 10 Mbps हम लोगों ने ऑफिस चलाया 2 Mbps पे what are you crying about 10 Mbps ये याद है so it basically gives you adherence. This is what I was talking about earlier, BCP-DR, right? Your adherence is there. You are complying to other general safety standards. If you are following such standards, I am more than willing to do business with you. Who does that help? You. If you don't follow, who wants to eat bhelpuri and somebody who's doing like this? इधर पिज़्ज़ा हो जाके bhelpuri बना दे. कौन खाएगा bhelpuri बताओ? और ये क्या हुआ है ना? This was the day ना somebody was तो पिज़्ज़ा हो जाके देखिए bhelpuri आ रही है न्यूज़ में आया था. Who lost business? That fellow. Same logic, cybersecurity. All these sound like jokes, but these are like actual true incidents. Intellectual property protection. How many of you have heard the word IP? Right? That is super critical. I was working in another firm in US. They make medicines for 0.01% of diseases, rarest of rare diseases. What was it? एक injection के vial ना will cost you to the tune of $60,000-$80,000. One. That person needs 3 or 4 a year. Who can fund it? I'm just talking about that medicine. There are others that are like $250K, $300,000 per dose. Imagine the cost. And उधर ऐसा हाल होता है, even after a while, insurance company में हाल खड़ा करते हैं. बस मैंने देखा था कभी. Certain diseases are chronic, they go on for 10, 20, 30 years. Which insurance company is going to sponsor this? So now you're looking at bankruptcy of yourself. या तो मर जा या तो सुधर जा. So IP protection. So complete story. So this company basically, we were deploying a product over there, and one person we recorded. We were seeing suddenly the logs are flowing up. Logs. Suddenly activity चालू हो गई. We checked. Somebody in the research R&D department was copying in real time to an external USB device the medicine, the formula. I'm literally going with my laptop, following these people over there, and we find him on the spot. Like literally, we call the police, and in like 15 minutes, he was arrested. That was weird. That day was like a weird day for me. I remember suddenly I was like, Doctor, look, and we go into the office. बोलते वो रंगे हाथ पकड़ा. इसको तो रेनबो हाथ में पकड़ा, रंगे हाथ में रेनबो हाथ में पकड़ा. So this is IP protection. They all, if this protection isn't there, how do you figure out from logs that this is being stolen? अच्छा, चोरी किया ना? Prove it. Prove it. You know that person stolen, but you can't prove it. How do you prove it? Logs. It's very easy to say, ना सर तू नहीं करे मेरे पे केस ठोक लो. ठीक है, केस ठोक लो मेरे पे. कोर्ट जाके लड़ोगे. कोर्ट बोले पूछेगा, बताओ दिखाओ कहाँ पे, एविडेंस कहाँ पे. Biggest joke these days, na? क्या वो Justin Trudeau has done this. Indian government is responsible for some terrorist or उसका death कर दिया whatever. Indian government asking by evidence दिखाओ. Now Justin Trudeau is saying by evidence है ही. Right? How do you do this? Logs. Evidence ही नहीं. IP protection, overall data protection security establishes secure culture mindset. What is a secure culture mindset? You have everyone here has an accountability to the college. कि कॉलेज के डेटा कॉलेज में रखो, बाहर लेके मत जाओ, ऐसे ही ईमेल मत कर दो, व्हाट्सएप से मत भेज दो किसी को, right? Don't share username password with each other. Security culture mindset. Roadmap. So the SOC scene, we all learned all these, lot of new words here. अभी आगे क्या करने हैं? There's got a cybersecurity roadmap in companies, which you can also do in this college. Talk to a security friend. Tell me what this resembles. Right? You say go to a doctor, right? Talk to a doctor. Assess your risk. You go to a doctor, भाई तू smoking करता है, तेरा तो होने वाला है case in 4 years if you don't stop. That is risk assessment. Right? You know there's a saying, right? English में क्या हो? Stitching time saves 9. उसका हिंदी में कौन सा अनुवाद है right? So if you identify risk ahead of time, then you can prevent it. Identify अब ये risk कम करने को कौन से security controls लगने वाले हैं? उस control का cost कितना आएगा? And these are massive discussions. Like we are spending right now almost 6 months with one company whose budget is about 2.65 CR. So 2.65 CR में annual cost is. And software prices, especially SaaS platforms, every year cost बढ़ता है by some percentage. And certain software are sold in USD. So when the rupee drops, the rupee price goes up. Conversion differs. The price of software you bought for 80 rupees per dollar. Next year it is 82 rupees a dollar. Next year it is 83.5 rupees a dollar. Next year it is 84. 80 to 84 doesn't make a difference, but 4 times say 1000 किया तो 4,000. So your increase is now 4,000 rupees per person. If you have 300 people in your company, 4,000 times 300 is just your licensing cost. Why I'm saying logging monitoring? Because why how all this great. That's why I told Arpit that this will not just be a technical thing. This is कि हम ये क्यों कर रहे हैं? Lot of people don't understand this part. Why are we doing these changes? Because of all these issues. Once you identify which software you're buying, this software बेचेगा कौन आपको? Then you will do negotiations for price over there. Deploy the software inside. Then you will configure it. And then you will monitor for alerts first. You only monitor it. You will not directly block it. Then finally you will block an alert to management. ये हुआ. उसका ये रेमेडी निकला. Here, this cost का ROI निकलता है. That's why logging and monitoring is important, because when you start putting a budget for logging monitoring software processes, you will then log that data. You will get alerts that can be sent up. This is where logging and monitoring helps. It sounds very off topic. I know much software either कमा उधर हो रहा है. In cybersecurity, everything is linked. What I spoke about GRC earlier, GRC is where everything is linked. All the reports, all your IT reports, or expense reports, everything comes to GRC. Budget में क्या क्या आता है? All these things come into budgets. If you think it's just buying the software, नहीं. There are training costs, there are auditing costs. This is industry. You want industry knowledge, right? This is the cost in industry. It is not just कि खरीद लिया आप वो क्या था वो इसको लगा डाला था जिंगल आ रहा है ऐसा नहीं होता right हीरो होंडा था ना क्या फिलिंग शेड्यूल forget it नहीं you can't forget it ऐसा नहीं होता है you have to have people who are going to manage the damn thing and set up others वरना लगा के छोड़ दिया फिर क्या हमने पता नहीं क्या कर रहे हैं then management asks question boss I spent 30 lakhs किधर दिया क्या हो रहा है इसका and then you lose a job. So why is it important for you people to understand if you want a career in cybersecurity? Some things you need to understand. Compliance is the main thing. What a company, look, everyone, all companies should want ISO 27000. You've been to some company somewhere, ना लिखा होता है बड़े बोर्ड पे ऐसा. This is what your company is proudly ISO 27000 certified. Why proudly? इतना क्या है? There are massive benefits from that. Company आएगी आपसे काम करने. Cyber insurance, better management, auditing. You want to audit, right? अगर मेरा audit चल रहा है, audit pass करना, audit क्या होता है? Are you operating correctly or not? How do you show that? Evidence. Evidence कहाँ से आता है? Logs. Right? All this is dependent on proper log monitoring. Cyber insurance will give you a payout if and only if you can prove that the attack was external or whatever, as you say so. The पैसे कैसे मिलेंगे? See, if you have an accident of a bike somewhere or a car, they will examine the vehicle. You can just file a claim and पैसा अगले दिन आता है, ऐसा नहीं होता है ना? A proper audit of the vehicle is carried out. Then the money is given for your insurance claim. That is the end. Thank you. 15. Okay.
10 minutes to go, as per schedule.
I'm good. So I sped up a bit today, but yeah.
But you can extend up to half an hour again.
Okay, so let's leave this open now. Now we have time. Any questions on this? It can be anything not related to this also. Cybersecurity, careers, whatever.
Sir, can you show us how to see the logs? Because every time logs are very important. So then we want to see my system who has used it and how where he has gone through the website or anything. So How can I see the logs in the system?
Okay, have you heard of Windows Event Viewer?
Windows में ही है।
इधर क्या?
Windows है?
हाँ
इधर Windows है, इधर
Windows है।
I think this is
लाइट्स ऑन ग्रीन लाइट आता
see this? This is your Windows Event Log for this machine. It is massive. You've got application security logs, your application logs, security logs, setup logs, system logs, and you can forward certain events to other machines.
There is nothing displayed over there.
Yeah, because maybe it's not being done here. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
डबल टू
Number of events.
22,500
Sometimes it takes time to fill.
Then I think it will be higher.
Yeah.
application log 21,009
See, if you look at the log, right, it has a. So how do you look at a log? It has a priority. It is information, some of them are critical, high, medium, low, whatever information. There's a timestamp associated with it. That is your reason to have a time synced server,
thanks
right? 5004, 4958, 4956. This matters in investigations.
security SPP so
This is already your sources. If you open this, this is your description. This is क्या मतलब I don't know, but there are many such events. So Windows will throw a bunch of events at you. CrowdStrike will throw a bunch of events. Antivirus will throw a bunch of events at you. Right? Your firewall has its own set of rules and laws. If you log into you have a firewall here.
yeah
So if you log into a firewall here, you will see logs for that also. So see this computer here, desktop, this what this means what machine this is. You can print it down in this machine. If you go outside and see on the network log, you will see the IP address also. This IP address. Suddenly you will figure out because this IP is not right. Why? Because your machine on network में है ही नहीं. Everyone thinks now that their Wi-Fi is secure. Sir, this happens in companies. नहीं हम Wi-Fi password किसी को देते नहीं है. The admin enters it. Once you enter करेगा, then 2 clicks I can tell you what is your password. Right? Now this has happened in another pharma company. वो admin आया, हाँ ठीक है, he put the password in somebody's Mac device. Now when you use a Mac, the Mac syncs your passwords to all your other Macs or other iOS devices. So same password now has access to his tablet and his phone also. Approval किसका मिला? लैपटॉप का. Access किसके पास है? iPad, iPhone, and a MacBook. It sounds very trivial. It is very important in some industries. If I have to go meet him and I tell him, "Yeah, I am coming," ठीक है, and I get 5 more people with me, ये 5 कौन है? And if there is something sensitive being discussed over here, boss, what are these 5 doing here for? That is the first question he's going to have. Are they supposed to be in the meeting? That means I can track your traffic, I can see what is going on inside. Public Wi-Fi, very often this happens. Please sign your given account to gain 1 hour free Wi-Fi access. Everyone happily signs in. Username password देते हैं, and then the second screen comes. Oh, please enter username password. Incorrect username password. Please enter again. ठीक है, we re-enter. First prompt was a fake prompt. That data is now gone, which is your username password. Second prompt is actual Gmail prompt. Or very often they take those credentials, give it to Gmail and authenticate for you. So you want to get to know also. There are fake IRCTC websites. There are fake mobile apps. All these scams here online. How do you figure all these things out? Because ये scam चल रहा है, scam मिलता कैसे? Logs. Somebody somewhere is looking. We access work. So these are, to answer your question, these are your Windows logs. So if you have,
These are application logs.
I mean,
Security law.
there is somebody else special there.
Spatial law.
Okay. There is, this is the GYD. GYD is another unique identifier over here. Event ID so and so. You see, all this data may not be relevant right now, but ये बहुत सी चीजें काम में आती है. ये किस कौन सा मशीन से आ रहा है? What privileges were assigned to the user? See something interesting here. See, so this is how you can figure. Remember I told you, if somebody tries to log into this machine, you can figure this out. Why does login happen at 10 o'clock? Sorry, not 10 o'clock. बंदा था ही नहीं यार कैंपस में. लॉगिन किसने किया?
टाइम जोन आपने कहा था कि एवरीवेयर टाइम जोन इज सेम, मीन दे फॉलो सिंगल टाइम जोन. तो यहाँ पे अभी 10 बजे बता रहा है. अगर if someone wants to investigate somewhere from outside, for example,
So then,
UK.
so those companies then have a rule where they set up their own time zones. So
We don't have. That's why if this showing local.
you have IST.
Yeah, we have.
If you have another college sitting in somewhere in Ukraine, now what?
तो ये वहाँ पे कोई ये नहीं रहेगा ना, मतलब सेम टाइम जोन नहीं दिखेगा, अलग टाइम जोन दिखेगा.
Other times होगा, but then when you take this log into a SIM, it takes the time of the SIM.
We convert that into their.
Is what we call as Zulu time or UTC. Right, so it takes that time zone into consideration, and
Okay.
that's why India is plus 530, right?
Yeah. Right.
India is plus 530 time zone. Pakistan is plus 5. UK is what? 0.
And then you will rectify it.
So rectify apparently, it will show you that time frame over there. So that's why timing is important. Kiss time पे क्या? And see, this matters at the millisecond here. तो स्टार्टअप का हो सकता है. Setup application.
इसमें ये भी लिखता होगा कि इंफॉर्मेशन क्या उन्होंने एक्सेस की इस पे.
नहीं.
वो नहीं. ये क्या फॉर एग्जांपल क्या स्टील क्या उसने वो नहीं दिखा.
Both of that. So then you will spend most of your hard drive on recording that only. This itself is a lot of data. This is not used as much. But if there's a machine that's used, this data is massive. And if you start multiplying this by number of users per day, your storage will go to the roof. Now storage only we are having people who are spending, just a storage cost on Amazon is coming to 25 lakhs. Just storage. There are people running VMs. One VM will cost you 50,000-60,000 rupees a year. A month. 50,000 rupees a month. This is one VM in one tenant. So they've got like some 4-5 of these. They've got 8 tenants across. अलग-अलग इधर 5 करके इधर 2 करके. Let me figure out some way because this is too much right time. We figure out because this is running at 5% usage. So why do you want such an expensive VM? ये पता कैसे चला? Again, logs. Because somewhere in AWS is able to tell you that this machine is running at very low usage. So log is not just secret logs, it is used at multiple levels. this normally doesn't have anything much exception. But yeah, see, normally you look at application logs, security logs, and event logs. This is basically event logs. Okay.
सर फायरवॉल में करके सकते मतलब इनके सीधे अटैक व्हाट शुड चेंज
That is a whole. You want to open a firewall here?
नहीं होगी इसमें फायरवॉल होगी ना मतलब सही सिस्टम में उससे प्रोटेक्शन होगा ना विंडोज का होता है इनमें
That is that is generic firewall. Total Windows security
वो
here.
अपने यहाँ पे तो पता है
That is this.
हाँ
Here this.
yeah.
What do you do here?
What should be the probable setting that we should do? Because हमने तो सेटिंग्स की है जो ऐसे जो इंस्टॉल्ड है वैसी है डिफॉल्ट सेटिंग
What you can't do? See, allow an app to fire. Sometimes when you install a what do you call software, it may seek network access. Right, it is some component. So then it will give you a prompt. Because this is asking for network access. Should I grant it? Then you can allow an app. So this component will have access to the internet.
स्पेशल परमिशन नहीं है
So you must have heard earlier that I should DJ terms and all those things. So certain software we use has such components that need network access. So we'll ask you, remember this is going to continue connect to the internet. So bottom line being here you can't do much because there is not much control. You go on a firewall, I can have a lot more control. That's why the early example of the 43389. Very often, so this happened at one more place we tried. You know, you go to some hotel or whatever, and or play the internet, all those things. Please log in, whatever, and then you will have password. Provide your details, then you have internet access. So my friend's VPN just started working. How? Access to blocked it. You have not given phone number, you have not given anything. Yet internet is given. How is it possible? VPN, it's still requesting, the page is open and VPN connect bhi ho gaya, I'm browsing, everything's done.
ऑटो करेक्ट है सर ऑटोमेटिकली इट इज कनेक्टेड टू द नेट
How did it happen? You bypass the entire authentication. How? The firewall is blocking the TCP protocol, not the UDP protocol. Ports work on two protocols, right? UDP and TCP. TCP block कर दिया, UDP open रखा. So VPN was configured to operate on UDP. ये देखा नहीं किसी. So this falls under configuration. ये पता कैसे चला? Through why are we seeing sudden UDP traffic? So logs से पता चला. So moral of this whole 2 hours is or 1 hour or something is logs. See, sort of like warning करना आएगा. Yeah. Real tech means what does this mean? Realtek is probably a PCI device on your motherboard, right? This probably is either your audio controller or your network controller. Audio है ना? हाँ. Realtek audio. So your audio is disconnected. तो ये see the data can differ based on the event. अब इसका मतलब कौन क्या निकालेगा वाला बात. But you get to know things. यहाँ पे not much is happening, so you will not see much either. Very often, if you update a machine, right, you will see some update notification here also. The update failed.
Alok, what measures to take from client side? Preventive measures?
Prevent what?
Just attacks and something.
That's a very broad.
Admin side is okay, but as far as our users are there, students are working over there.
Cyber security hygiene. at multiple levels. So when we go to clients, right, we evaluate them at their application level. What applications they use. We evaluate them at the data level. What data they're storing. We evaluate them at the network level. How the network is configured. When I say network, not just network here, also in the cloud. Right? Then we also evaluate some from a user perspective. What is their training program? Right? Also from the coding perspective. If you have a software development activity, how are your developers doing? Have you heard of DevSecOps or DevOps? Right? So DevOps is development and operations, right? DevSecOps is development, security, and operations. How many new terms have we taken today? Way too much. This is what happens when you try to combine years into minutes. So this is why logging in monitoring is important. So you can start a project on Wazoo internally here. It is free, so company cost free. And see and put the logs in there and see how it shows up in the nice pretty dashboards and pie charts and all those things. Then you see what kind of TCP traffic is flowing. Then try doing things. Start a YouTube link, live streaming channel. See what protocol shows up over there. Then you can block on your firewall or somewhere. There are so new students, right? There are colleges in Pune who we deal with. They have cybersecurity cells. So they have these students take programs like this. It will help you in your internships. So this happened to one of us. We went to one training session like this only for companies. So some students also came there. A few weeks later, we get a message. Hello sir, I met you at such event and I'm okay. Bolo, how can I help? Sir, I want job. Bas. Again? What do you want me to do with this information now? So, if you come across as somebody who has done something before, your chances to get internship are much higher. Much higher. ये फर्क पड़ता है. I have also been in the same spot you have been. Trust me. This is not some वैसे बुड्ढा बैठ के हमें बता रहा है ज्ञान मिल रहा है हमें ऐसा नहीं है. This actual stuff we see every day. We see how students have difficulty getting jobs. And cybersecurity there is so much demand. If you are competent. So if you have done something like Wazoo project over here, you can go as a SOC level analyst. If you get good, you can become a SOC manager. If you are better, you can become compliance head. You're looking at salaries from 4 lakhs a year to about 40, 60 lakhs a year.
Take a note of this. Students, it is for you.
It sounds, there's a lot of work involved. That money doesn't come cheap. We'll grind. What come with it? Anyways, that being said, so does any other questions? Any other question over here?
Any question from
Now it's just full gyan session. Now it's जो पूछना है भाई.
You can ask.
Proper-
Language.
Actually,
Language is not a barrier.
Actually, you guys, all of you are going to ultimately transfer this knowledge here. So,
FTP.
as part of FTP,
Parties.
any questions from your side? हो गया? Perfect. Now you can go in a job directly. Hey, jokes apart, but yeah. Any questions on cybersecurity careers or anything? Or can we end here? Nothing? Nothing. You cannot. What if you applied for internships or positions already? Why now?
So they are from first year. Third year and final year are actually
हाँ,
real right now for examination. They are going to.
But so they will not.
Yeah. Help it, sir.
hope this was helpful in understanding one aspect of cybersecurity. This is only logging and monitoring. इसके बाद बहुत कुछ होगा. Last week we fired somebody on the job. Or something we like to do, but ये काम नहीं कर रहा है. So this company this is another story. This company, right, creates software for Bajaj and TVS. When you go to a service a vehicle, कुछ तो कीबोर्ड में टिक करता है वो. ये तुम्हारा डालेगा अंदर जॉब कार्ड बनाएगा. If you want to buy a vehicle or service it or do whatever, right, do all the paperwork. So something went wrong, something happened. He spoke to Microsoft, or the IT head or whatever IT employee person. He spoke to Microsoft support, which is common. Like, if you have a problem, you can talk to Microsoft support by raising a ticket. Microsoft support said, "Sir, server reboot कर दो." दोपहर के 3 बजे. When peak business happens. So now, 16 to 20,000 outlets across India of Bajaj and TVS became non-functional. Why? Server down. Have you heard of this? Server down. ऐसा नहीं समझ में नहीं. होता क्यों है? ऐसे देखो क्यों नहीं? He shut the server down, and because they didn't have an automatic way which the application connects back to database. It is manually connected. तो वो हुआ ही नहीं. Application बैठ गया. So this went from 3-4 in the afternoon. Next. वो मैं कर So this thing went down from 3 in the afternoon to about 6 or 7 p.m. at night. Imagine the loss. You can't book a vehicle. You can't put an entry for servicing. You can't edit the servicing history. You can't release the vehicle also. मतलब you are standing there, say गाड़ी ready है, आप तो दे नहीं सकता. They cannot submit your license, your registration to your RTO. Like calls came from the highest people of Bajaj and TVS to these people here. Now this company is अभी ये हालत हो गई कि भाई धंधा करेगी नहीं किसान. It sounds boring, but all these things happen. Any questions, Arvind?
Actually, I was not attended all the time, so I don't have any questions. Admin by point of view.
In general, you have time. It's time.
After
Next time.
That's fine. If there is, you can enroll actually. So I know you got 12 more sessions, right? On some R&D research paper.
So, my question about whenever we are logging from regular internet which is being provided in our infrastructure. So, is there any point from where we can secure ourselves with the existing infrastructure?
Plenty of ways. The network should be locked down, right? Traffic should be monitored by a few people. Alerting should be there. The Wi-Fi should also be monitored. You know what people have done in certain cases? In companies, people have bought their own Wi-Fi router and connected it to the LAN port.
Most of the time, no mobile Wi-Fi they are using internet.
So these attacks have been carried out in companies where they know they operate on Google Workspace. So they set up a fake Wi-Fi hotspot, and the person, when they sign in on there, as always, they get a login prompt, which is a fake login prompt. So you go in the company, put a fake router in there, and broadcast the same SSID as a company. What is your Wi-Fi SSID here? Akash. Right. So Akash का और lottery में डाल दिया. So are any of you going to figure out that this is the wrong Akash you have deleted? So it's about how far do you want to protect yourself. भाई तुम लोग को बाहर एक कोई गार्ड खड़ा करना है या एनएसजी कमांडो बाहर चाहिए एक बंदूक. That's how far you can go in security. And you guys, students especially, are at a massive advantage now because there is huge demand. You know, all this AI, ML, all this thing is fine. We have met students who have done these courses and then they don't find jobs.
Final question, Alok. A roadmap for students who are admitted in first year. So they should what they should learn step by step and then for their job.
So, for students, for you guys, and then behind, who are interested in their mobile phones,
I think Mike,
perfect. So
that is down.
So for first year students,
Uredu.
the roadmap is that to study. कभी भी सुनने में काम नहीं आता. तो
you're not nodding. If you are not interested, don't sit here.
as long as you're paying attention, that's fine. Studying will happen because if you want a career in cybersec has various fields. बहुत सारा scope है. There is VAPT, there is governance, there is risk, there is compliance, there is auditing, there is. I'll send you a CISO map. Okay, it shows all the career prospects for cybersecurity. Software development भी होता है. If some of you are interested in coding, then how to do secure coding? That also is a thing. If you are networks, there's somebody in networks, maybe she likes networks, but she likes coding. So you can't put them in the other role. Both will fail. If she likes coding, she can go into secure coding. Secure coding क्या होता है? It helps you with your OS configuration. और इस VAPT किसके होता है? Web app पे होता है. Have you heard of VAPT or not? Multiple assessments है ना? There are many tools available. Free tools होते हैं. The ability of you to do a proper VAPT will set you apart from somebody else doing the VAPT. VAPT exercise ना 30,000 से लेके 50,000 में कोई कर सकता है, कोई कंपनी. अगर कंपनी कर रही है, तो आपका क्या मिलेगा? If I'm charging the company, if I'm charging a client 50,000 rupees, how much do you think I would pay you? Nothing, or next to nothing. फिर बैठो, 4 lakh package, 2 lakh package a year. Does it work in today's time? Everyone wants a high paying package. उसके लिए काम कौन करेगा? कोई नहीं करता है. So learn networking सीखो, right? Learn software development. There are best practices. All is part of ISO. I told you, right? What are the current? See, if you go into a company, simple thing. Company asks you what do you bring to it. Why should I hire you? HR goes there. Why should I hire you? Sir, I am sir or madam. I am third year for fourth year finance student. And aside from coming into your firm as a software development profession, I know my agile and all those software development methodologies. I've worked with PHP and I've experience with cloud. Additionally, sir, I also bring to the table cybersecurity knowledge. I can ensure that your company stays secure. You automatically become away from the hundreds of applications that are there. Small things to get past the interview. Automatically. They'll hire you and they'll probably pay you more than the rest. Think about this. If what are you bringing extra? Sir, मैं ये भी करता हूँ, obviously मैं ये भी करता हूँ. All these things matter. So roadmap के लिए education is important. Depends where you want to go. I can talk about cybersecurity, though that is there. Depends which area of cybersecurity. Right, auditing करना है. Auditing के, so if you want to go into auditing, a lot of experience is required. You have to do all this, bottom steps first. You have to understand networks क्या होता है, what types of attacks will happen. email को what is email attacks, उसको prevent कैसे करते हैं, detect कैसे करते हैं. What happens if an attack goes into a company? All this comes around together. If you're into networks, understand network traffic कैसा होता है, packet कैसे दिखता है. What kind of traffic is allowed, what is blocked, how to detect it, what tools exist in the industry. सब free में नहीं होता है. If you go educated to a company, कि I know Azure, I have done my Azure certification, I have done my AWS certification. You have a cloud infrastructure, I can help you with that. I know these 4-5 cloud car services. Done. There is a certification, a free certification called from, ISC2. How many of you have heard of this? ISC square. How many of you have heard this? ISC square का free cyber security certification मिलता है. Free. Why not take that? On your end, start building a LinkedIn profile.
So we are also offering the students from Cisco courses like the introduction to cybersecurity, CCNA, like these courses are being
Introduction ठीक है, but you think introduction is enough for the advantage for the corporate life?
No, it is we are creating basics.
Good. That is working. But when they go in the industry, they are supposed to handle some devices. उसका administration. You know the story I gave you, right? वो 15 साल से वहाँ पे काम कर रहा है. And he didn't know where the firewall laws were, or he didn't know where the rules were. He never bothered to change the rules. Second thing is very important is डरो मत. I can't tell you how many people are scared today in the industry. मैं ये करूँगा ना तो बस चल जाएगा. But if you know what you're doing, you know it's going to impact properly, then why not do it? The entire firewall is open. RDP port open is 4-5 servers gone in multiple locations. And ultimately you're fired. So if you know that, well, don't be scared to learn. I was talking to Saurav earlier. I said, I want to ask and I don't feel ashamed to ask you questions. Perfect, good. Always have that mentality to learn. कहीं पे भी. Now it's funny I'm saying this. I'm sitting there very often in my past where I've done the same thing to other people. Second, one thing important is find a good mentor. Someone to show you the right thing at the right time at the right place. Right, sir?
Yes.
Mentorship
Yeah,
happens.
yes.
Yeah. I'll stop here, but yeah. So
We'll see in future. Ask.
done.
Done.
All right, great. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderful session. So we are honored to have such an expert, Mr. Alok Karnik, sir. I summarize the session in few words. Our expert will present on topic logging and monitoring the systems, highlighting their critical role in maintaining cyber security and system integrity. This session will cover how logging captures essential data about system activities and monitoring tools, analyze these logs to detect anomalies, track threats, and ensure compliance. By providing real-time visibility into system operations, these systems will help organization identify and respond to potential security incidents swiftly. This discussion will also emphasize best practices for implementing effective logging and monitoring strategies to safeguard digital infrastructure. So, now may I request Dr. Amekun sir to please facilitate our resource person, as
Also,
also Professor A.U. Chaudhary sir, co-coordinator of Atal FPP program, facilitate our resource person Mr. Alok Karnik sir. He is a founder of CAS Venture.
लाईट लाव म्हटलं पण. म्हणून त्याला सांगू शकते की त्याला पण. हे असं काहीतरी पाहिजे.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So we will take a short break. After that, we will continue the session of article discussion, and then after that, the article discussion session will be conducted Dr. R. Karwa sir. After the break. Thank you.
स्टुडंट्स तुम्हाला माहित असेल आलोक पुण्यावरून बाईकने आला.
It's not a big distance. I've done much more.
त्यांनी 58,000 किलोमीटर नुसती बाईकचा प्रवास केला. सगळ्या इंडिया कितीतरी सेंटर्सला त्यांनी बाईकने व्हिजिट केली आहे.
In
इज
3 years.
पॅशनेट
In
आणि
3
विदिन
years.
3 इयर्स मागच्या 3 वर्षात इज पॅशनेट. असं काहीतरी शौक पण असायला पाहिजे.
मैं शौक के नाते one thing is that कि my work happens on the ride. ऐसा नहीं मैं बाइक चला और काम कोई नहीं कर रहा.
टेक्नॉलॉजीने प्रोव्हाइड केलं की कानात हा ऑनलाईन मीटिंग चालू असतात त्याच्या बाईकवर.
So sometimes I have to stop on the road under tree on the highway, call लो 1 घंटा, then continue again. अभी now I have a full control meetings. Sir, see you guys. Good night.
असा फोन नका करू फक्त. हॅलो कार्तिक, हा मला जॉब पाहिजे बस.
बाईक कोणती विचार.
और कहाँ से तो
नाही नाही
रोशनी
Excuse me, all of you.